Kothari, greetings, hello. Yesterday we talked about philosophy and peace. We had a good seminar on your views as a philosopher, really, and a mystic. But today there's been a dramatic development in the newspaper story unfolding in Britain to do with News International. Rebecca Brooks, who was the chief executive of that organisation, has actually been arrested.
Yes.
There's criminal charges pending against many journalists in Britain, possibly also in the US, for phone hacking. There's also allegations of corruption with the police, obtaining information about suspects through bribery and this kind of thing.
Yes.
I'm interested in your work now as a newspaper editor and owner, and just your views on this whole scandal that's erupting. What do you think of, do you have a code of ethics for your newspapers?
Yes. I can guarantee you this, that our newspaper is known to maintain the ethics of journalism, to maintaining the rights of people to express. Suppose I don't agree with your views, but it does not mean your views will not appear in my paper. We still allow your views to appear in my paper.
So it's a forum of democratic debate.
Yes, 100%, because this was the aim to start this newspaper. When my father started this paper in '56, most of the papers who were available in the market, they were all aligned with some political party.
Right.
There was no independent paper at all. So everybody would read the biased news.
Right. Okay.
So to clear it, my father started this with this theme in mind, that this newspaper will always remain independent of any political parties or any other bias factors.
Right.
Like your land mafia and other things, they also keep bribing newspapers.
Right.
Nothing, all free, and today we enjoy 100% credibility.
And what's the name of your paper and how big is the circulation?
Now, the name is Rajasthan Patrika. But recently we launched our paper in 2 more states, that is Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, where the name is only Patrika. Right. Rajasthan is removed because it is the name of the state.
Sure. And it's published in Hindi, isn't it?
It is published in Hindi, and circulation today, we have crossed 2.5 million copies a day.
So that's a very large circulation. It's one of the biggest ones in India.
We come around 5th largest in the country.
Right.
And we publish from 29 centers in the country.
Now, as you know, I'm a philosopher, I'm interested in ethics. Right.
Yes.
In the Indian newspaper industry, is there a code of ethics that journalists have to subscribe to, or is it up to each paper to say?
Yeah. There is nothing as such. I mean, there is no written document before the newspapers. Each one is independent to follow whatever the line they take. So
do you think that any of your papers in India would do phone hacking? That means getting private messages from somebody's mobile phone.
You know,
have you ever heard of that being done in India?
We have heard on different lines, not on the same footing. But say in the last elections, every newspaper, all the big important newspapers, they asked for money from all the candidates and gave coverage to whatever candidate wanted,
Really?
Without cross-checking the facts. They have fixed the size. For this size, this much money. For this size, this much money.
But surely that's called advertising.
So,
this is separate to advertising.
Yes.
This is just covering the stories.
Covering the views of the candidate, right or wrong. Right. They were not concerned with this. So they passed on all these things to the voter. So this was one reason.
Sure.
Recently, 2 months back, or 2.5 months back, there was another scandal where one lady, Mrs. Radia, was caught. She was like an agent, behaving like an agent between all the top industrialists of the country and the top ministers, and including Prime Minister of the country, managing all those both sides. But some important journalists were also used.
Right.
Mrs. Radia will ask so-and-so journalist to go and contact so-and-so minister, get this job done for this industrialist, like this. and all the names were.
I don't quite understand why that's a corruption issue. I mean, was she a journalist herself?
No,
Or
she is just an agent.
an agent? Yeah.
Just that's all.
But surely that's just a PR job. Well, what's she done wrong?
No, it was all out of, you can say, out of way. All the things were adjusted or say got done.
Right.
She was also bribing the people on top to getting the files signed, whether right or wrong. You know, this was the problem.
Bribery problem.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, in India now, you have a huge problem with corruption, don't you? In politics.
But newspapers are connected in it. That's what I'm saying.
Newspapers are connected.
Yes. All important newspapers, big journalists are connected in it.
So really, what you're telling me is the situation in your country is actually far worse than here. This phone hacking scandal, although it's bad, is peanuts, really, isn't it? I mean,
I think in every country now, because of the information system, everyone is following this or that, but you are all sailing in the same boat. Though only there will be handful newspapers who will be following the ethics to the core. Not much.
Well, this goes back to our discussion yesterday about wisdom, doesn't it? Because if people, I mean, Francis Bacon, the philosopher, said knowledge is power, right?
Yes.
So information is bought and sold. It's a commodity.
It is.
And people will try and cheat to get information. That's the phone hacking thing, you know, and they're ruthless.
So basically you are, you can say, selling the information which is supposed to be the secrets.
Right, so it's sort of, secret.
You are selling the secrets in the name of news.
Right.
You know, so I think this itself is not ethical.
No. So the question is, how can, I mean, in your newspaper, do you try and find a way to make wisdom news?
Yes. Recently, I think we have for this, we have to fight all these governments, you see, because we have the team to go in the fields, get those news against the government also, and we publish it. So the courts will take action against the government and the officers or the politicians because of our news. So
the press is still powerful as a force for good if it sticks to its ethics.
It is powerful.
Yeah. What do you make of Murdoch as a man? Do you think he's a man of ethics?
Anybody who is in the business for money or for making money will always compromise.
Right.
That's all.
Have you ever met Rupert Murdoch in journalist circles?
No.
Does he own any newspapers in India?
In India it is not possible because no outsider can have more than 26% in the newspaper.
And he doesn't have an interest?
No, even if you have, you can't have more than 26%.
Right.
So the majority will remain with the Indians.
And there's no Sky News or anything in India? I mean, you don't have an Indian channel for...
We have Indian channels, we have outside channels also.
Right.
So, for example, BBC is located in London, but we have it in India.
Sure.
We have the offices of the BBC, correspondents of BBC, everything we have there.
But the main one you have is New Delhi Television, isn't it? NDTV.
We have many. Now in India, there are almost more than 200 TV channels.
Right.
Not one or two.
Sure. No.
Yeah.
I mean, the corruption thing, going back to that, a number of yogis in India recently went on fasts, political fasts like Gandhi, against corruption in politics. One was prepared to fast to the death. Do you remember this story?
Yes, Ramdev.
Yeah. What happened to that? He stopped fasting.
Yes, because finally it came out that he was supported by one of the by the opposition party.
The BJP.
The BJP. So when it became a political agenda for him. So people withdrew and government took action against him. So he was asked to go back home.
Right.
What
I did in the 1990s in the UK Parliament, in the House of Lords, which is like the Rajah Sabha, I organised a series of seminars on ethics and politics to discuss ethics. You know, is there any such forum in the Indian Parliament at a national level, say in the Rajah Sabha, for people like you and philosophers and yogis to discuss with the government about ethics? Don't you, I mean, India's known as the homeland of philosophy, don't you think?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you set one up?
I think things are changing with time and very fast.
For the better, or?
No, not for the better.
You think
it is because the politicians also are now looking for money, how much they can make in their tenure of 5 years.
So they see it like a job.
So
like
everybody is involved, hand in glove, whether it is the ruling party, whether it is the opposition party, under the table, all are same.
Have you met Sonia Gandhi? She's the president of the Congress Party.
I know, I met her.
Surely she's not involved in that kind of thing, is she? I mean,
she's on top. I mean, nothing happens without her signals.
Right.
All the major decisions in the country are taken with her consent.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go back to the Gandhi dynasty, Nehru and so on, surely these were ethical people.
Now it is, you can't define that way. Because each person has taken 200 decisions, for example, some could be this side or some could be that side. So you can't just generalize it.
Right. Well, I hope that your newspaper continues to flourish. It's a shame you don't have an international edition like the New York Times.
No. I think we don't have that, but still, the newspaper is available on airports, on the vending machines.
Right, so Hindi speakers can read it.
Can read it. So there are about 100 outlets across the world where you put your coins and get the copy.
Okay. Well, I'd be very interested to keep in touch about the unfolding Murdoch scandal in Britain and the role of the press. But
Yes.
Can I ask you another question just to finish? Have you ever been to any gatherings of newspaper owners where they come together?
Yeah, many times. They're very regularly.
Like globally?
I was member of Commonwealth Press Union for years.
Right.
I used to go to their biannual conferences.
Okay.
I was also a member of WAN, World Association of Newspapers.
Yeah.
And every year I used to be there.
Right.
Now because I handed over the things to the children, now I don't participate. But I've been going for years, I was part of it.
And what do these fora discuss? Do they discuss ethics? Are there global codes
See,
of
discussion
practice?
is different altogether. See, this is an intellectual exercise. Every country has different situation. Every country has different norms.
But surely a code of ethics like doctors have to have
No. There is no code of ethics like things nowhere. It's in self-discipline. You leave it to yourself. Now government talks sometimes that they will also have some guidelines done for the press. It is not possible. Now you see even on the TV. TV is also part of the media.
Yeah.
Now they show blue films. Where is the code of ethics like that? And the youngsters, you see, after midnight, they see only that.
Sure.
Now where is the code?
Violence constantly being portrayed.
Sex,
Yeah.
all crimes.
Yeah.
Then where is the ethics?
Well, that's my question to you. You're the newspaper owner, but I'm interested in the role of. You say it's just an intellectual debate, but I think the role of intellect is important in clarifying a global code of ethics. Mostly the press self-regulates, but Britain now we're looking at the possibility of bringing in a code that newspapers have to subscribe to.
It may not happen. See, we come back to the purpose of communication. You know, when you talk about the media or newspaper, there has to be some purpose of communication behind this. So unless you involve your heart, again, come back, sensitivity to the humanity or human society, you cannot succeed. If my newspaper doesn't touch your hearts, you won't bother about it. You read it and throw it in the garbage. But if it touches, then I get you transformed over a period of time to how I look at things, to my perceptions, or to how I conceive the subjects. Then Rajasthan Patrika is basically known for this, that we do not create readers, we create followers. Because we also do dozens of social activities. Suppose in the summer, we request the readers to come out in the sun and desilt the village pound because it's all dried up.
Right.
So they will desilt, whole village will come out.
Right.
Distilled it.
So it acts as a force for social transformation.
Yes.
An agent.
So we have initiated many such type of things.
Right.
Okay, plantation during the monsoon season. Okay, come out. Celebrate your birthday by planting a tree. Like that, you see.
Sure.
So, everywhere where students need consultation in education, we conduct education fairs, health fairs, book fairs, wherever there is a need.
Right.
So, people know that we work for their good, not for our good. Our good is automatically included, but I don't have to define it separately. If I work for the society, society will take care of me. This is the formula in our communication.
Sure. And that's a different code of ethics, I suspect, to News International.
Yeah. Much.
And the top-down approach. But there are campaigning journalists in Britain as well, obviously, in the Commonwealth.
I think everywhere now you will see this.
Yeah.
It is, as we talked yesterday, it is basically the education which is career-oriented. The total target is a good career, good money, and self-interest. Because internet and all other things, they don't bother you. They teach you only to look at your own interest. That's all.
Well, let's hope that
I think
teachers like you and I can make a difference.
You need
a bigger perspective than that, don't you?
And then you need thousands and millions of teachers also, everywhere, in every nook and corner of the world.
Sure.
You see, 5 or 50 or 500 teachers can't help. You need much more. But in peacemaking exercises or eradication of corruption, all this type of exercises need emotional involvement at conference level also, which I don't see.
Well, we need to work on it. One of the projects of the institute that I run is called Education Aid, which is the idea that we have a global day every year when schools and universities are not open for normal courses, but they have a fundraising and awareness raising day. I've been trying to get the Commonwealth Education Ministers to approve that. Maybe we could, do you know the Education Minister of Rajasthan?
Yeah, I know.
Is education devolved to the governments of the states in India?
Yeah.
So Rajasthan governs its education.
It's both ways. It's a public education as well as private, both.
So maybe we could launch Education Aid in Rajasthan.
We can launch, but my problem, you can say opinion, is you launch any scheme or any campaign. First condition is how to create involvement of people, wholehearted involvement, not intellectual.
Sure.
No, it should be together.
So how do you do it? What's the secret?
That is exactly I said. When we write editorials, I give you one CD yesterday on my editorials.
Right.
They're all emotional writings.
So you're going for the heart to get people engaged.
I see the face of the reader when I write. What will be his reaction on this sentence, on this sentence, on this sentence.
Right.
So you see, if you consider to that extent, with gracefully, honorably and honestly, while reading you will see your face and you are talking to him one-to-one. There are the results. Without this approach, you can't have results in the family also.
Sure.
This is the final, you can say the root of all communications and transformations. Without this approach, why? There is no peace in the world. How many peace conferences now every year throughout the world?
But it's still not world peace.
Things are happening in the reverse order.
But to go solely for the heart
not solely.
You can get people whipped up emotionally like Hitler did for the wrong reasons.
A combination of both.
You need
a combination of both, I have to say. Never. This is if you leave it to heart, it goes this way or that way. You can't control it.
Sure.
It's a balance between the two.
Yeah.
And then your commitment. The first condition, your commitment to yourself.
Sure. That's.
If you do not commit, nothing will happen. As you are committed to peace, whatever you do, the result will be somewhere near peace, around peace. But if you are not committed, you do anything. Peace, you can't see the face of the peace.
Absolutely.
Or even the shadow of the peace. No.
Can I just one final question? India has historically had a problem with Pakistan. You fought a number of wars together. The Muslim part of what used to be India as a whole split off. And you yourself were in the Air Force and involved in one of those conflicts. Have you ever met any Pakistani journalists? Is there a Pakistani
I have been
newspaper
in touch with many people. I visited Pakistan at least 4 times. And through journalist unions also.
Right.
Yeah, we are totally in touch.
So are there papers like Rajasthan Patrika in Pakistan that do the objective reporting and try and work
There are
peace?
some, but governments also have their restrictions, you see. You have to, all under control, not directly, openly, you can't do.
So the government has a stronger role of censorship in Pakistan press?
Very much. Yes.
More so than India?
Yeah, more than in India. More than, in India we don't have practically that censorship.
Right.
No.
But in Pakistan they do? Yes. And what about in Bangladesh? Is it the same there?
Bangladesh, the press is not very powerful at all. It's like public bulletins. You can't say they are really press. There are only some, 2 or 3 good papers, but not many.
Right. Okay, well thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And let's watch with interest as this story
If you have any question, you can send me on email.
Yeah.
Surely I will respond it.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime.
Sure. Well, good luck with your future publications.
And thank you so much.
And thank you for coming to Scotland.